how are you feeling? Have you, taken like any time off, anything different in your routine or like any?
I actually did take 3 or 4 days off right after, but no, I'm feeling pretty good. They've asked me and told me that I probably could have some improvements in my lifestyle and life choices, primarily with food and exercise, even though I know that you guys have never heard that. They say that is beneficial to feeling good and living a healthy life. And so they got me doing some stuff, but I'm probably doing about as well as you can do.
Coach, could I ask a couple of questions about the big gift announcement and Mr. Booth himself? Could you just put some voice to what that sort of gift and endorsement does for the attitude and spirits around the department as a whole? And also, could you just offer some maybe personal insights into the man, Mr. Booth, who he is?
Well, you know, as everybody knows, David grew up on Naismith Drive, and he's loved KU. You know, going back to when he was a youngster going to Lawrence High, and he has obviously been ultra successful in his financial world, but has never lost sight of people and places that have put him in a position to actually be as successful as he has been. So, you know, he's given back to a lot of different people and a lot of different organizations, and of course, University of Chicago being one of them with the Booth School of Business. And we got him involved in athletics, you know, I don't know when it was, early 2000s or whatever, and he's been a constant in basically with anything that we've done moving forward in the athletic department and the university. He's been in the forefront to spearheading those drives, and obviously with the Gateway Project, he's done so much, which is also ignited and spearheaded others wanting to be involved too. So it's obviously his generosity, he and his family's generosity has been remarkable, and this gift, although I don't understand it totally on how it works, but this gift obviously will put our athletic department in a position to operate in a way that 2 years ago we were thinking, how do we get to where we want to go? And now there's a clear path that will allow us and help us get to where we want to go. But with that being said, I know David well enough to know he gave us that gift for us to utilize it in the best way, but for us to also understand part of the responsibility of that gift is to make sure we go out and take advantage of it by working as hard as we ever have to bring other people into the mix, to make it where it's not a one-man gift or a one-family gift. It's the tip of a spear on what should be a lot more. So that to me, I think will be a driving component in how the athletic department looks at it.
One more health thing, just wanted to ask how this compared to or was different from what you had in 2023.
I've had more stuff going on that I haven't, Henry, I haven't gone public with what it is, and I'm not going to. The similarities are that I had stints back then and I had stints this time. And there's some other things around it that's obviously different, but from a rehab standpoint and from where I am post where I was before, I actually think I'm better today than I was then. Like I could coach a game tomorrow. I can have practice tomorrow. And back then, because of some complications I had, they didn't want me doing anything for a while. So from that standpoint, I feel like I'm much further along. If we practice tomorrow, I'd be 100% and be out there.
Thanks, and wanted to ask, also, you added G since we last talked to you, wanted to ask about identifying him and bringing him in as someone who could add to your team.
Well, we actually, Henry identified him a while back, but I really felt like, we needed ball handling and perimeter shooting, in a way that, and I hate to sound negative or positive on this, just factual. I like our roster, but if something were to happen to a position or whatever, I didn't feel like we had the depth we needed there. And G to me was as equipped as anybody. You know, he's obviously a little older and mature, and even though it's a different level, he's played 4 years of college basketball, to the point where I feel like that he can come in and give us something that maybe a younger player wouldn't be able to do. So he to me, he fit a need. But let's not get carried away. We didn't recruit him to come in and be a starter, you know. But I do feel comfortable that he can play with starters, and so that's why we think he's so valuable.
Bill, it was clear that in 23 when you had your health scare that it got your attention and it scared you a little bit, rattled you, whatever the word is. Same thing this time? Do you feel like maybe you learned something then that you can kind of use this time to move forward with those choices they're asking you to make and that kind of stuff?
I actually believe this. I know you guys will find this hard to believe. When they tell you at a young age that you should be doing this, and that, that's probably pretty good advice, because there's a lot of things that you can do as you get older that doesn't 100% compensate some of the poor choices you made when you were younger. Yeah, I don't think it was a situation that you know, just hit me right between the eyes as much. But with that being said, there are things that we can all do, and I certainly can, to maybe not guarantee success, but you can certainly put yourself in a much better position to have a better chance for that. And that's where I'm at. I'm no different than I was, you know, 4 weeks ago. And that's what they told me too. They said, you'll probably feel better than you did 4 weeks ago after you get back in a routine and all that stuff. So, but the truth of the matter is there are some lifestyle things that I have to be better at, but there's also some good fortune that goes along with it too.
Yeah, and then, Neil, you gonna ask health or?
I was gonna ask, yeah.
Go ahead.
Coach, I talked to one of your oldest friends who said he needs to keep coaching if he can coach. If he doesn't coach, I think it would kill him. I mean, I really believe that he loves it so much and he loves this team he's got. Did you ever think about not coaching or stepping away? And if you had to do that, how tough would it have been with this group, you guys, and the coaches you've got assembled around you?
Well, when we lost like 3 out of 4 last February, yeah, I thought about it. but from a health standpoint, no, I haven't thought about that. I asked the doctor, or the surgeon, hey, what do you think? Is this something that should change my way of thinking on stuff? And he said, do you love what you do? And I said, yes. So he said, well, keep doing it. So yeah, there hasn't been any thought like that.
I wonder too, your thoughts on the stadium, where it's at, football?
You know, I haven't been over there yet.
Okay.
On the inside,
Sure.
I've driven around it countless times like everybody else, but I think it's fantastic. You know, it amazes me the amount, you know, you see homes that can't get built in 2 years, and you build a stadium like that you know, we were only out of place for 1 year. And looking back now, and I'm sure nobody liked being out of place that 1 year. What a small, you know, obligation or price to pay for something that could end up this good and this positive. So I can't wait to be there on the 23rd, and I think it's going to be fantastic, and I think that we'll have a team that obviously will play to the level that the stadium looks. So and that should be a pretty high level. So it should be an exciting time.
What about for you? You bring recruits in there all the time. It's a different looking, feeling type of place now. Have you thought much about that?
No.
Okay.
Gosh, recruiting has changed.
Yeah.
How nice your football stadium is when guys are sitting there isn't going to be a determining factor on a decision. Just like Outland Fieldhouse won't be a determining factor with their guys. There's more important things in players and agents and families' minds these days. But the energy and the atmosphere around a visit will still play a factor in, connecting an individual and wanting to be a part of that. So it's going to be positive. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to misspeak and say that the stadium is going to help basketball recruiting. It won't. The atmosphere, hopefully inside the stadium, and the energy, hopefully, will be something that adds to a recruit's experience.
Right, Coach, so glad you're doing better. We've seen a lot of turnover in rosters, especially more now with the transfer portal being what it is. What have you kind of learned through the process, and how you kind of approach a season maybe a little differently with so many new faces coming in from all over?
Yeah, that's a great question. We returned one player that scored a basket basically last year, Flory. We have 3 other guys that practiced, but they were out for injuries or redshirt, Jamari or whatnot. I would say the hardest thing that we've experienced is that even though we've always recruited pretty well over time, the foundation of our team has usually been 3 and 4 year guys. And those 3 and 4 year guys get better, and they learn, and they teach the other guys and all that stuff. That's not gonna be near as prevalent moving forward for anybody. So maximize, and this may sound strange, but maximizing every minute of practice time, not taking fundamentals the way that you play for granted, even though you're coaching 4 and 5 year guys. I think the fact that they should all be treated like freshmen almost. And sometimes freshmen are easier to coach than transfers, because freshmen don't know any better, where transfers have been taught their own way of doing things, and your way may be different. So I think creating a culture where, regardless of faces, this is who we are, this is what we expect, and getting back to not compromising what wins. Because when you only have a kid for 8 months, I think sometimes we skip a step or 2. And I think that we have done that as well. But the bottom line is, hey, we may not play bad, but as long as we make the other team play worse, we're gonna be successful. That's the bottom line. And that hasn't been the case as much the last 2 years.
Because you did say last year too that there's a balance of, you want guys, you're bringing guys in for a reason because you saw something you liked in them there. So they were doing something right that you want to bring to the team. So kind of a balance of keeping some of that stuff, but then also.
Well, the thing, I think I know what you're saying. Like, let's say Melvin Council. What we saw him do, we're not gonna take that away from him. We saw speed, we saw downhill, we saw aggressiveness. That's what we need to make sure that he plays too here. So the reason we recruited the guys here is because their individual talents or skills we think make us better. Now, can we get them to understand what wins for us, taking advantage of the skills that they particularly have?
I know you had 3 or 4 guys late to round out the class. Are you happy with everything you were able to accomplish? And even if it's just privately, do you have an idea of your expectations or kind of what this team is capable of, or is it too early?
You want me to predict our record?
No, but I mean, are you happy with everything you did, and did you bring the pieces in you wanted to? And
You know something, there's not one coach in America that would answer that question differently than, yes, I'm thrilled about everything. Now, but who knows how it'll play out, but I think we got better. We got more athletic, we got more depth. And you hit it on the head. We were able to get some guys later than maybe we had hoped to get them, but they end up being the right guys. And Cole and Paul late, and then with G, you know, to me, he feels a need. So Shay, I like where we're at. The thing about it is, if you're going to err, which, because it's an inexact science, you know, you may want to err on the side of athleticism, or you may want to err on the side of shooting, or you may want to err whatever. And I feel like that we're so much more physically athletic than what we were last year. So to me, that excites me.
Bill, the Big 12 is going to start doing availability reports before games. Did you support that, or just generally, how do you feel about availability reports regarding injuries?
You know, I've had some heart issues. I didn't even know that was. Hey, Travis, are you aware of this?
I meant to tell you about that this afternoon.
Okay. So I thought maybe I just didn't get it. Actually, I think that's great. You know, the way it's worked in the past, gamemanship or whatever, well, he's not gonna play, but let's don't let the other team know till warm-ups or whatever, which to me is ridiculous. So I think that will be a positive requirement. I don't know how it all works. There's still gonna be guys that are game time decisions. I mean, there's still gonna be things like that, but I think that's actually a good thing. But let's just call it like it is. Why is that important now more than ever? Gambling. So I don't know that actually impacts me and how I'll go about my business, or how another coach will go out of business. But it may impact somebody that is you know, wants to do something before actually tip off and know who's actually going to be out there. So
After what you saw this summer, where specifically do the 3 transfers fit in? And what kind of summer did they have?
I think of the 3, I think Trey White had the best summer. Trey White's a good player. I think Jaden and Melvin had good summers, but I think they were further away from being comfortable, where I think it was more of a natural transition for Trey. But I'm happy with all of them. They all do different things, and they're all going to be good players.
Did anybody emerge as a force like Flory or?
I thought Flory had a great summer. Cole Rosario had a great summer. And then we got, you know, obviously we got a guy that is very talented, and Darren had a good summer too. But you know, having a good summer individually and having your team look good are probably 2 different things. But we did have some good individual summers.
When do the guys get here?
I believe the majority of them arrive tomorrow, and maybe a couple on Sunday. And we may have a couple that come in a little bit late. But when I say a little bit late, hopefully here, you know, by Tuesday.
Are there any late changes to the coaching staff? There's been talk about.
I actually, Chase, just got hired by the Nuggets. So, I'm in the process of, he got an assistant coach's job. It's a great gig for him and happy for him, and he did a really good job here. But I'm in the process of looking into some different things, but I haven't done anything yet. I feel like I got the scope kind of narrowed down of what I think would be good for us, but I haven't done anything yet.
You talked about the difference in coaching a lot of the newcomers. In terms of those newcomers, have you seen any of them kind of take any action to build the chemistry amongst one another? Do you think they're ahead of schedule in terms of the chemistry on the team?
I think they really like each other. That's also coach speak, that everybody says every year. But I do, I think they like each other, and I think they're competitive. And I think they all really, really want to be here. Those are all positives, but as far as chemistry, other than like each other, like I don't know if they know, you know what, this really makes Bryson a better player if we do this and that. I don't think we're that far along yet, but I do think they like each other a lot.
Bill, you mentioned Cole looking great in camp. Kind of what is his role looking like ideally this coming season? Obviously, it might be early to say, but what do you hope he can add to the team?
Well, it is probably early to say what anyone's role would be, but obviously athleticism, perimeter shooting. I mean, he's a very, 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 very bouncy, vertical guy. He's he's strong and he shoots the ball well. So, but that's also in the summer when the lights aren't on yet. But I do think he's going to be a really good player.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Thanks, Coach.